خلقه ليذكره وكلفه ليشكره، أناط سعادته وكماله بطاعته، وربط شقاءه وخسرانه بمعصيته، كالقائل أفحسبتم أنما خلقناكم عبثا وأنكم إلينا لا ترجعون. وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على أفضل وأشرف وخير وأزكى خلق الله، خير من جاء لهداية البشر، وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين، وعلى أزواجه أمهات المؤمنين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. My teachers, my fathers, my mothers, my brothers and sisters in Deen, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah wa ta'ala for the blessing of Islam. I will sincerely apologize for coming a bit late. We're actually having challenge trying to locate the place. That's number one. And if not, I even actually told my brothers that I may not like to spend beyond 12 o'clock here today. And as Allah will make it even 12, we haven't even gotten to the venue. So that is, Allah, you make your own plan, but Allah, have His own, plan, coupled with also the period, tahajjud and so many things. And like in our own, of course, we have tahajjud for almost maybe 2.5 hours, or because we start from 1 o'clock and you end almost 4 o'clock, because we complete the Quran within those few days. And I think the last brother I spoke with, it's Allah make it, if not I wouldn't have even been able to make it. Because the day we spoke last, I told him I did not even remember, I supposed to have a lecture anywhere this area today. So I just had to reschedule my, activities to be able to meet up, because it actually, escaped my mind, because we spoke for a very long time before, our conversation that was on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So it is by Thursday that I now had to begin to recheck my activities to see that I'm actually supposed to be here today. Then I have to begin to show some other things to be able to fulfill the promise. So I sincerely apologize for keeping you waiting. Alhamdulillah, the topic as announced, that is polishing your dua: when, how, why, what, where, and so on. Those grammars for the it is big for some of we, the little ones. So may Allah make it easy for us to be able to, do at least little justice to the, topic. Alhamdulillah, we're in the month of Ramadan. If Allah wa ta'ala spares your life to witness any Ramadan, He has done a lot for you if you will take advantage of it. It is one of the most blessed months. It is a month of Quran. It is a month of dua. It is a month in which we are encouraged to do more of virtually all acts of ibadah, because it is a month that we have opportunity of having a lot of reward out of whatever act of ibadah we might have performed. And also within this month, unfortunately, within the period we are currently in, that is the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, there is a night in which we were told that it is better than 1,000, months. 1,000 years. That is not equivalent. So no one knows how, much it is. No one can quantify it because Allah said, Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr. He said, the night of Al-Qadr, that is the night of majesty, it is better than 1,000 years. Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi, khayrun min alfi shahr. It is more than 1,000 months. Khayrun min alfi shahr. More than 1,000 months. That is more than 83 years. And it is maybe the few amongst us that are lucky that may be able to even get up to that 83 years. So it is a month we're encouraged by the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to struggle to get that night. And part of what we're encouraged to do is to make dua. And one of the dua taught by the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu anha asked her, if one is opportune to live that night, what should one, say? Then he taught her that she should say, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'afu anni. So it is a period of dua. That means dua is very, very key, very, very important in our life. And dua, that is supplication or prayer, is ibadah. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said to us in a verse of the Quran that وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. Somewhere even Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala clearly described it as ibadah. He said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. He said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ, certainly those يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي, that shows arrogancy or pomposity regarding my ibadah. And he was talking about dua, and he ended it with what? Calling it what? Ibadah. So dua wal ibadah. So it is, mostly when we say dua among ourselves, we know that it's about you asking Allah for something, requesting for something. So we don't have any other person that we depend on except Allah. He is the only, when you move request from the angle of the normal one to the angle of ibadah, that is worship, only one person deserves that, and that is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So in essence, for your dua or for your supplication to be okay, then it needs to be what? Devoid of associating partner unto Allah. Ibadah belongs to Allah alone and nobody. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. And it is one of the verses we repeat almost every day. No Muslim wakes up so long as he prays that he will not recite that verse. As many times. You read Surah Al-Fatiha. Iyyaka na'budu, you alone we worship. Wa iyyaka nasta'in, and you alone we ask for help. So when request tilts to the angle of worship, that is when it becomes dua, which when we mention that as a Muslim, it strikes your mind. That is dua, supplication, raising your hand to ask somebody. Then the only person that deserves that is Allah. Nobody can give you anything. No one can what? Can give you anything. No one can give you, anything except Allah. Even normal giving, normal one, no one can give you anything except who? Allah. If somebody can give you money, somebody can give you job, somebody can give you wife, somebody can, so many things. But that person doesn't have the power to do it without whose permission? Allah's permission. That means the person giving you is what? Is who? Is Allah. And the Prophet told us in a hadith that wa'alam, you should know anna al-ummah, that certainly if the community, not one person even, that is if the entire community, they will all come together ala an yanfa'uka bi shay, to benefit you with something. Lan yanfa'uka bi shay, they will not be able to benefit you with anything illa bi shay'in qad katabahu Allah, like except what Allah have written for you. وَلَوْ اجْتَمَعَتْ, if they will all come together, it's not one, all of them, unanimously, 100%, no disagreement, عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَضُرُّوكَ بِشَيْءٍ, to harm you with anything. لَنْ يَضُرُّوكَ, they can harm you with anything إِلَّا بِشَيْءٍ, except with something that كَتَبَهُ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ, except what Allah have written against you. It's a رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ, the pen is lifted. وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفُ, and the paper is what? Dried. And even in the past and in the present, Allah have proved that to us. Take for example, yes, in one of the elections, election was done. Somebody was declared what? Winner. That means all the process finished, right? Then Allah took him that same day. Yes, that is Kogi State, have you? Yeah. Yes. They've done primary. He won the primary. They've done the general election. He used his own money to do the campaign, everything. He won the election. Nobody is contesting that he did not win. Yes, after winning, what happens? So not the office. That Allah said, the world, you've come to your own time. And so he is not even going to be in the world, that person be in that office. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala forgive him and grant him Jannah. It's like Abu Bakr Audu. Then, like now, there is an example. So you have so many examples. Like one of our fathers too, Abiola Abi, yes, he won the election. Abi, so nobody is contesting it. Nobody is saying he did not win. Abi, but yes, Allah did not decide who will be in that office. Because it doesn't matter how it happened. There's one thing we must understand. It does not matter how something happened, whether read, not read, select, not select. If Allah say you won't enter, you won't enter. So if they read, you enter it because Allah agree, you will enter. And those ways of doing things are different. So like now, currently we have another election, right? Yes, if you look at the way things were going, you feel the person that is being announced as the winner, it will be difficult for the person to get it. Isn't it? Yeah, even some non-Muslims feel they want to use this as a means of showing how powerful they are. Like I say, I'm not discussing whether it is clear, fair, whether it is rigged. There is no election done in this country that there is no complaint. So there's nothing new about it. Even US election, Trump said he was what? Rigged, David. And so the other person said he did rig. So it does not matter how it goes. But what we're trying to understand, we want to understand here is this. Yes, no one can give you something except if Allah have permitted it. And no one can deprive you of anything except if Allah have what? Permitted it. He is 100% in charge. Nobody is in charge of anything. No single person. No single person. Because the person you think is in charge, the day Allah wants to show His power, then you will see that what that person you think he can do, that day he will do, make effort, and nothing what? Nothing happens. So virtually, the person in charge is who? Is Allah. And before I continue, most likely, I think I may likely get a brother at the end of my talk. He may help us summarize inshallah a bit in Yoruba, because Timbaso Yoruba be one lady. Maybe we will need dictionary to what to break it down. Huh? Yes, inshallah. So pardon me for that. I would have preferred actually combining the two, but inshallah I'm still practicing. So very soon, inshallah. Mama better. So, in essence, for your dua to be, okay, first and foremost, you need to know what it is and how it relates to Allah. Is it something someone else can have a hand inside or not? So basically, if you want your dua to be in line with what Allah wants, then you must understand that He is the only person that deserves to be asked is who? Allah. I used to tell my brothers and sisters sometimes, like even in our own country, part of our problem is this. You've put in your hope in the one whom you are not supposed to put your hope in. So it makes your problem to continue to compound. It makes your problem to continue to increase. Take for instance, some of us will feel that our problem is because the government is not doing what they're supposed to do, right? I don't get job because the government is not doing this or this one is not doing that. The point is this. Where you think you couldn't make it, somebody is running from somewhere to come to that place and make it. Yes, some people are going to Ukraine. Some people, because of the Ukrainian war, they're becoming richer. Yeah. Every situation is a blessing to some, is a problem to some. Yes, some people became extremely wealthy during COVID-19. So go and find out. They don't have anything. They were nothing before the COVID. After the COVID, during the COVID, they become what? Suddenly. Even like in the past, how many of us used to bother ourselves about hand sanitizers and so on? You see, those who had that business that time become what? Rich. Some people got money because of what? COVID what? Test. If you come to my own area, there, when they say a property in GRA, in the Kenya, we know how expensive it is. Because you have people getting large compound for COVID what? Test. Okay, as COVID issue have died down, what happens? So those places are what? Closing. So those who have made their own money that time have made it. So if you want to make from COVID now, it's like this, not like before again. So it is not all that lucrative because people have started moving on, they don't even think about COVID. Before you see people moving, we have our hand sanitizers or what in our pockets. When child going to school, you put it in the bag. Your office, you have it, this. So there's one thing with Allah. Whatever, I used to say it to my brothers and sisters, if anything happens, if it is really from Allah, there's nothing evil inside. If Allah gives you children, it's a blessing. If He doesn't give you, it's a blessing. If you are wealthy, that is, if you have a lot of, when you say wealthy, everybody is wealthy. Everybody, nobody is what? Nobody is poor. If you say somebody is poor, it depends from the perspective you are looking at it from. Like now, if you say somebody is poor, if you are looking at it from the angle of money, yes, some people are rich monetary wise and some are poor monetary wise. But some are rich monetary wise, but they are poor health wise. And another one is poor monetary wise and he is rich what? Health wise. Yes, you have money more than him and he is healthier than you. So you use your money to achieve something. He uses his own good health too to achieve something. Yes, you are monetarily richer than somebody, but he is educationally richer than you. If your child needs money, what do? You give him the money. But if he needs knowledge, you send him to the teacher. You don't have the knowledge to give him. So you now send him to the person who can give him that because you don't have. Or if you have, you don't have the time. So there's something you are lacking that another person has. When they say wealth, al-ghina, أو ماذا? Wealth, they say كل ما انتفع به. Anything useful. Anything useful is wealth. What you got with money, another person will get with his own connection. Yes. You went to a hospital for treatment, maybe it cost you 5 million. Another person will go to the same hospital, get the same treatment because he knows the doctor. Or he knows the owner of the hospital. Or because he's the teacher to the doctor there. When election comes, the politicians look for us. Why? They need our votes. So that time, his money can't take him into the office. What takes him to the office is what? Your votes. So the money that time is the what? Your PVC. So if you don't have PVC, he doesn't care about you. You don't have what he needs. So may Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala guide us. So in essence, regarding dua, we need to know that the only person that we're supposed to ask is who? Is Allah. Don't even ask the Prophet ﷺ because he too can what? He can't give you anything. If it comes to dua, do we worship the Prophet? Do we worship him? You don't worship him. So that means anytime you interpret a dua as worship, that means the Prophet also doesn't deserve it that time. Only one person deserves it, that is who? Allah. And do you know why I go to the Prophet straight? Because based on that, you don't even need to ask about any other person anymore. Because any other person is what? Inferior compared to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you can make dua, if you can ask Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you cannot ask any wali, you cannot ask any shaykh. If you do that, you are wasting your time. Sometimes there's one thing with shaitan. He adorned for us our wrong things. Allah says, زَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَعْمَالَهُم. Some of us ask some things or ask some people for things that we're not supposed to ask them. And you would say they are what? Righteous men or men of God. Isn't it? You know, the Prophet told us clearly. This we finish, we just move out of Quran to the Hadith. The Prophet told us clearly in a Hadith that إِذَا سَأَلْتَ, what did he say? فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ. He said, if you are asking, ask who? He said, ask Allah. وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ, if you are seeking for help, فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ, seek for help from Allah. Like now, sometimes, some of us as Muslims, we take to the wrong path some non-Muslims take. We will condemn those ones for what they do and we justify our own. Like now, some instead of calling Allah, they call what? Jesus. Alayhi salatu wasalam. He's a righteous man. I and you cannot get close to him. He is a role model to us as Muslims. You are not a Muslim if you don't believe in him, but we don't ask him. We don't do things in his name. Just the way we will also not do in the name of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If it is right for you to do in the name of Muhammad, or if it is right for you to call Muhammad, then it is right for them to call Jesus. Because they are the same people of the same category. Muhammad is a messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jesus is also what? A messenger. You will say also what? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is one of the what? He is one of the ulul azm min ar-rusul. Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam is also one of the ulul azm min ar-rusul. So they have the same category, same group. If you believe in Jesus, you don't believe in Muhammad, you can attain Jannah. And if you believe in Muhammad and you did not believe in Jesus, you also not go to Jannah. Is that so? If you believe in Muhammad and you don't believe in Jesus, that means you still don't believe in who? In Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if you believe in Jesus and you don't believe in Muhammad, that means you don't properly believe in who? In Jesus. So it's the same thing. And the rest of the messengers, not only the two. I'm just picking those two as examples. You have other ones. Prophet Musa, Prophet Noah, alayhi salatu wassalam. So if we want to polish our dua, or you want to make your dua okay to be acceptable by Allah, then you also need to what? Dissociate it. You need to remove it from what? Associating Allah to anything. And because of that, you must understand that He is the only one you are asking, and He's the only one who can grant it. When we do salah for the Prophet, what are we doing? We are praying for Allah to do something for him because he can't do it for himself. And clearly Allah told us in the Quran, and the Prophet should tell us. He said, "Qul, tell them, la amliku li nafsi darran wala naf'an illa ma sha Allah." I can do nothing to myself of harm or good except what Allah wills. If prophets have power on their own to decide something that happened to them wouldn't have happened. Alayhi salatu wassalam. The Prophet did not move from Mecca to Medina because he wanted. He moved from Mecca to Medina because he was what? Instructed by Allah. He was moving against his own desire. He preferred to be in Mecca. He obeyed Allah's instruction. Just the way righteous servants of Allah are. Allah says, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى. The one who fears the day is going to stand before his Lord and he stops himself from following his word, his selfish desire. So, we need to, dissociate our dua from what? Shirk in the course of that. And in terms of, like when, there is no specific time that one can say that is the only time you can make dua. You can make dua anytime, anywhere. Ask Allah anywhere you are. The only thing maybe, which will explain that, maybe where you are may determine the pattern the dua may do. That's all. In the mosque, in the room, in the toilet, on the road, there are dua for each of those places. So a mu'min, at every second of your life, your hope is who? Allah. There's no time you will say, okay, Allah doesn't have anything to do here, so I don't need Him. You need Him at all times. You rely on Him at all times. Yes, I mentioned something, so I didn't go in depth. Like I said, maybe like in our country, sometimes, like I said, sometimes some of our challenges come from the way we think. Like now, in terms of job, in terms of some facilities that we don't have, maybe the government's supposed to do. I agree with you 100%. And the government did not do. If you don't have, is it because the government did not do, or because you also did not make a move to get it? Today, in our houses, we have generators, right? Isn't it? Some of us, the generators we have in our houses, if we combine as a community, we can generate the light we need. You can. If our roads are bad, if government refuses to do, if we want to do it, we will do it within our own capacity. When you go to some estates, the roads there are what? Very okay, right? Is it done by government or by the people? By the community, by the people. You have some places, gates around. Who did the gates? The government. I used to give this analogy to people. Government is like a father. Your father is supposed to take care of what? Of you. Your father is supposed to be responsible for you. Then let's assume as a child you have irresponsible father. So what do you do? You face yourself. Because he is not responsible already. So long as he is not responsible, then will that make you to be an irresponsible child? Your father's part and your own part can be different. Some fathers are unbelievers and their children are what? Believers. So he is not righteous because his father made him righteous. He is righteous because he decided to what? To follow the truth. And usually, anywhere, those things you look at as challenges, they are what? Opportunities. Those things you look at as challenges are opportunities. If you talk about leadership, it's about what? Problem solving. You can have good leaders when you don't have good people. Because it's one of the people that becomes what? The leader. Like today, in most of our environments, the kind of people we are is that we're the kind of people who think of what others are supposed to do for us more than what we supposed to what? Do for others. May Allah guide us. So in essence, like I say, in terms of where to make dua, anywhere is a place for dua. Whether in the mosque, in the house, on the road, in the toilet, in the market. Because at every point in time you need Allah. And that's why the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us in a hadith that لا يزال لسانك أو لا يزال لسانك رطبا بذكر الله. That is your tongue should not be what? Dry from the remembrance of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Dua is also dhikr. So at every point in time, you're supposed to what? To remember Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And the Prophet said also in the hadith that ittaqillaha haythuma kunta. Fear Allah wherever you may be. So there is no place you will be that you forget Allah. And there is no place you will be that you're supposed to think someone else is more important to you than Allah. And also don't think anybody is there that person can guarantee you anything. If Allah promised you something, then you will definitely get it. But any other person, 100%, there is no single human being on the surface of the earth that will promise you something you have 100% guarantee. That person doesn't exist. I said what? No matter how that person fears Allah. And let me use our noble Prophet as an example. If Prophet promised you something, yes, he is struggling 100% to make sure he fulfills the promise. But that thing materializing, he, the Prophet who promised you, does not have 100% guarantee that he will fulfill it. Do you know why? He can promise you something, giving you something tomorrow. Let's assume the Prophet promise giving you something tomorrow. Does he control the coming of tomorrow? It is only Allah who controls. So yes, you may have that thing, but the coming of the day he will give you, he does not have control over that day. And also he does not have control whether he is going to live till what? That day. So if he promised giving you something tomorrow, and that tomorrow come Allah take his life, will the promise be fulfilled? No. That is why as Muslims will be told something. Allah says, وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Do not say regarding anything that I'm going to do this tomorrow, except you say what? If Allah wills. That's why as a Muslim, if you say anything, no matter how serious you are about it, you still say what? Inshallah. But Allah's own is more than 1000% guaranteed. Why? If he promised giving you this food, even if this food doesn't exist, so if he wants the food to come, it will come. He can provide the food for you faster than the company making it. If he wants to give you this exact specification, because he doesn't need to go through the process the company is going through. The process the company is going through, he permitted the process. So he doesn't need to use a process to do something if he wants. He has given us example. Maryam alayha salam, mother of Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. He gave her a child through a process different from what process other people are having children. Yes, he produced a son through her without the what? Involvement of what? Of a man. So he can take regarding Allah, there is nothing like this is the process. That is regarding him. Nothing like process. It is me and you that have a process. Yes, you can commit your sin. If you want, he will give you Jannah. When? How? It's left to him. I'll give us example. A lady was given Jannah not because she observed Salah, not because she fasted, not because she does some of those things that we expect that gives Christian, but rather because she gave water to what? A dog. When you want to sleep, there are adhkar, prayers, you observe. Or you are leaving your house, entering your house. So that as Muslims, we need to learn how to manage or handle our prayers or supplications at places. Or take for instance, if you say what you're supposed to say while entering the toilet, you've done what? Something contrary to the sunnah. And if you give the one for coming out to what? Sorry, going in, and the one for going in for coming out, you've interchanged them. So sometimes some adhkar or some prayers have places. Like the one for entering is meant for what? Going in. You say it before entering. And the one you say when you come out, you say it what? You come out. So you will not use the one for going in for what? For coming out. And the one for coming out for what? For going in. And there are ones anyway, no problem, anyway, like istighfar. That one anywhere you can be doing it. It doesn't have specific place or specific time. Anytime you have opportunity, you can say it. You can that in your mind. And also, when you ask Allah, ask Him with inshallah 100% assurance He will answer your dua. The Messenger of Allah said to us that Sallallahu wa antum muqinuna bil ijaba. Ask Allah with full, assurance that your prayer is granted. But one question here is this: but sometimes we ask Allah. Yes, I ask Allah and I feel my prayer is granted, but I did not see the result I expected. Right? When you pray to pass your exam and you fail, or you pray to win election and you what? You lost. Or you pray to get a job, you couldn't get the job. Does that mean your prayer is not granted? No. Your prayer can be granted, but not in the way you expected. If you ask Allah for something, He grants your dua in 3 ways. 1, He gives you exactly what you asked for. You pray to win election, you won. Or you pray to pass exam, you passed. Or you pray to have good health, He gave you the health. Or you pray to get to your destination safely, maybe you're traveling, you got there safely. Ask anything you ask, He gave you exactly what you asked. That's one way. And sometimes He may not do that. And He may grant your dua. You asked to win election, and He decided not to allow you win, but He open doors of wealth for you from means you never expected. Or most likely, if you win the election, you will die. So to save you from death, he made you to what? Lose the election. Do you know that getting something sometimes can kill somebody? If you check yourself and see, you discover that there are things when you don't have them, the way you behave, the way you think are different from the time you have them. Like now, when you don't have money, maybe the small ones like us, you can move anywhere, right? You move, you travel, you don't have fear. Like now, okay, maybe sometimes some people would say, issue about dangers of this. We know the dangers are there. You get to say some of us sometimes you don't care, you still travel. You still drive past the place, they say, okay, it's still what? It's risky. If they say somebody is armed robber, you can still sit down, he will pass, you don't care. Because sometimes you feel even if he comes, there's nothing for him to take. But when you have what the person will take, you will now want to protect that thing from that person. So you and that person will start facing yourselves. When you don't have money, you jump into any napep, Okada, you trek, you don't care. Like our father now, may Allah make it easy for him, the president-elect. There are places he can move the way he moved before anymore. Because some are targeting him. Why are they targeting him? Because of what? The office. So if you detach him from the office, they will forget him. Like virtually in almost all African countries and some few countries, yes, any president in that office is also working to make sure no coup is planned against what? Against him. But before entering the office, he's not thinking of anybody doing coup. Because he does not have what if they want to do their coup, they should go ahead. It's not in that office that they want to do, because they see what is happening everywhere. Egypt, the defense minister did what? Took over Morsi. Sisi. Or even as our mothers, by the time you put on some ornaments, you put gold and diamond and this one, there are places you cannot walk past. Have you? Is that true? Yes. The moment you put them on yourself, and instantly, yes, you become conscious of that. So there are places you will feel it's risky for you to pass. Not because of your body, but because of those things on you. You are hanging on yourself. If you don't have them, you will pass. Your mind is not there. So, if Allah wants to protect you, maybe anything you will have to give you that problem, He will what? He will tell you. You are disturbed because He did not reveal a verse to tell you this is why I didn't give you this. Take for instance, like our late brother and father, the governor, Audu. Maybe if it is the shock of that winning, sometimes that affected him. So maybe if he did not win, maybe it may be something different. He may be alive. I'm not saying that's what happened. It's just an example. Sadness can kill someone. Joy is sometimes too tender. Yeah. That's why they say too much of what? Everything is bad. Hunger, that is starvation, can kill somebody. Too much food too can kill somebody. You may overfeed, and so then you begin to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you can't breathe well. Or maybe you have some problems in your stomach that at the end of the day, just not taking it may affect you. And also another way that Allah Ta'ala grant your prayer is you ask Him for A, He didn't give you the A. The option B, that is replacing with something in this world, He didn't do that, and you keep the reward for you in the hereafter. The Prophet told us in Hadith that on the day of judgment, some people will come and they will be given their reward. Then they will be wondering, what time did I do this work? They cannot figure out any work, any ibadah he did that gave him that. It's just like you writing an exam. And now, at the end of the exam, you got 40%. You've seen that. The mark. You know you feel something. And now after coming for the final result, and they say you got 80%. You will assume, okay, how did I got the 40 extra? And maybe the school said, okay, you did this at so time. As a result of that, we decided to what? To help you with this. Because being able to do this, then that means you deserve this. And that day, that person will say, oh, how he wished Allah gathered all his dua for him and gave him this way that day. Because he has seen that the benefit of that is more than the benefit of those things I've gotten on the world. If you ask Allah for a house in this world, because if He gave you the house, you have few days to spend in that house. It's a temporary gift. If you wanted a mansion, He gave you the mansion. So it is not an everlasting something. Oh, He saved you from something in this world. It's temporary. Okay, if He saved you from being killed, that is from dying, right? But you will still die another day. So it's temporary what? A gift. Yes, He saved you from dying today. But you will die maybe in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years time. So you will still die. So it is a gift that the usage is what? Temporary. But the hereafter old is what? Everlasting. Because the house is going to give you as a result of that reward is what? Everlasting. So who will make you choose temporary something for everlasting something? So when you ask Allah, have the yaqeen, have the, the assurance that yes, He will grant your dua. And at the point, learn to be the kind of person that will even prefer Allah to make a choice for you. Most of us, sometimes somebody will, feeling that, okay, you know what you want. That's what you want Allah to give you. Sometimes troubles you. I was talking, with one of our sisters sometime back. She said she wants to do something. I said, okay, may Allah choose for you the best. She said, oh, Imam, I know, but this is what I want, so may Allah make it, possible and make it the best. I said, okay, fine. Yes, what you are asking for is good. Yes, Allah can make it the best for you. But don't you trust His own choice? If He makes the choice, that means He's making the best choice. Because He will never make for you a wrong choice. And that is why you as a mu'min, you are even taught something, istikhara. You want to do something. You know, when we say istikhara, some of us are misunderstanding it. Some of us, the one that is the wrong one, that is the one we like. But the correct one, we don't used to like it. Like now, some of us, what we know as istikhara is that, something happened, you want to go and look who is responsible. And some will say, okay, I told my Alpha, he helped me do istikhara, and he told me this is what I should what? Huh? I should do. Istikhara is this. You want to do something. Now you want to make a choice regarding something. And you are now asking Allah to guide you in making the choice. And if you are truly sincere, pertaining to Allah's guidance in making the choice, that means you are ready to go for whatever choice Allah makes. If you've made your choice already, don't disturb yourself about istikhara. Don't disturb yourself. Allah said to us in the verse of the Quran, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. If you've taken your decision, then put your hope in Allah. You've taken your decision already. If you think it's good, make your decision, okay, walk towards it. But still you may get it, you may still not get it. Because to take your decision does not mean Allah will have to fly with your own decision. He doesn't submit to anybody. Allah doesn't submit to anybody. So we need to understand that right from now. He does what he likes. يَفْعَلُ مَا يَشَاءُ. He does what he likes. Nobody imposes anything on him. He said, لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ. He said, to Allah belongs all in the heavens and the earth. He creates what he wants. He's asking for a son. He may give you son. But if he likes, he can still give you what? A girl. Ask him for a girl. Yes, he can grant your dua. If he likes, he gives you what? A girl. If he likes, he gives you what? A boy. And if he likes, he will refuse to give you anyone. And all are okay. If you have a child, that doesn't make you good or bad. If you don't have a child, that doesn't make you good or bad. If you have a boy, that doesn't make you good or bad. And if you have a girl, that doesn't make you good or bad. There's one thing about this life. Everything means nothing. It is what you use it for that determines what it will be. Allah will put anybody in Jannah because he have a son. And he will not put anybody in hell because he have a girl. He won't put anyone in hell or Jannah because he does not have a child. He will put you in Jannah or put you in hell based on how you manage the situation. I don't know whether we're getting it. That is how you handle your son. That will determine how Allah will judge you in relation to that son. How you handle your girl. That's what will determine how Allah will judge you in relation to that girl. How you handle the barrenness. That will determine how Allah will relate with you based on that situation. He won't grant you Jannah just because he pity you are married, or he will put you in hell because you are what? Bad, because you are a bad. And if no matter situation you find yourself, you discover that some righteous people are in that state. If you don't have a son or you don't have a child completely, there are prophets that doesn't have children also completely. That means not having a child doesn't make you a bad person. If it means bad, then that prophet wouldn't have been that. Prophet Isa, if you don't have a child, if you don't have a child, he doesn't even have a wife. You are still a step ahead. Abi? Because you have wife, but you don't have what? Child. He doesn't have wife. So he can't talk of the next level. So if as a woman, you don't have a child, is Aisha radiallahu anha doesn't have a child. Asiya also doesn't want, radiallahu anha also doesn't want, have a child. And they are also one of the most excellent people. So there are things on normal ground, they don't mean anything themselves on their own. That's why sometimes you don't use some situation and judge people completely. Because a woman have a child, the other one doesn't have a child, does not mean you say this one is better than this one. According to who? According to who? If you want to know who is better, it's just one standard. That's all. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most dignified in the sight of Allah amongst you is what? Is who? The most God conscious. That's the yardstick. So if the barren lady is more God conscious than the one with children, then she's better. If the one with children is more God conscious, she is what? She is better. Allah guide us. Right. So I think maybe I may try to quickly round up a bit so that I don't know who is going to help us maybe summarize. Also, when we talk about dua, there are, it is also good. We're using some of the prayers guided, like in the Quran. You have many prayers, supplications in the Quran, that for any situation you find yourself, there are prayers available that you can use. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار رب زدني علما. Oh family, رب هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء. Yes, there is no harm when you ask Allah for whatever you want, so long as it is good. There is no harm. But we should try as much as possible to, avoid, there are sometimes some of us try to, overdo. And because of that, sometimes you form things that sometimes may end up giving you issues. Allah doesn't want us to what? To go too extreme in doing whatever we want to do. Inshallah, I think due to short of time, this is where, I will pause. Allah wa ta'ala, grant our dua. May Allah put us among those who will answer their dua in this blessed month. Then we pray that Allah wa ta'ala, what we will do to make Allah answer our prayers, may Allah make it easy for us. And what we will do that will affect our dua, Allah wa ta'ala protect us from it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا.